Hello everyone, on this episode of Interviewing Plushtubers, our guest will be a very big FNAF plushtuber, Gabe's World. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great, how are you?
Thanks for asking, I'm doing pretty well. Let's just get started off, which is, in your over half of a decade-long career, you've changed your content style a bit, a lot of things, but one thing that stuck out was making plush videos with FNAF characters. How did you get introduced into FNAF, and what was your main goal when starting out making YouTube videos?
Okay, so when I was little, I always loved to create these little comic books, right? I would always just gather my family around the whole living room, show off these comics, and I was born with it. I always loved to tell stories, and it's one of my many gifts God has given me. And one day, I don't know, I think I was like, my sister had her friends over, and they were playing this game called Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was like, what is this? This is so cool. But I actually wasn't allowed to watch it because it was a horror game, and I was still pretty young. Over the next years, I found a couple YouTubers doing like these really like, hey, I want to share the world with my.
You're glitching.
I like these ideas that I create in my head with the world.
Right.
Oh, I'm glitching. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not good. So yeah, found these plushies at Walmart, and I started creating content. Then I got lucky, started blowing up.
Yeah, I think you came in a trend time. Yeah, it was a fairly popular game at the time.
Yeah, I didn't even really get into FNAF until like, what was it, 2016? Yeah, I think it was when the first wave of like the plushies came out. And that's when I really started like to get in. Like I really love to get into the whole main idea of it.
All right. I see. Well, obviously you make plush videos, but I think everyone already knows. But when you started out, did you feel kinda embarrassed by telling people that you make videos with like plushies and stuff? Or like in the future, have you ever felt embarrassed when telling people?
Well, when I started off, I didn't tell anyone until like I actually started to get big. Once I like passed like 1,000 subscribers, then that's when I like started to tell people, like saying, "Hey, I have a YouTube channel." But now, I wouldn't say I was definitely embarrassed sometimes when people would say, "Hey, he's a YouTuber," and they would ask, "Oh, what do you do?" And I would go, "Oh, I make plush videos." If you asked that question like a year ago, maybe two, I would have said, yeah, I was embarrassed. But now I kind of like embrace the fact that I'm a YouTuber and a very successful one as well.
Yeah, you're at the top.
I was very embarrassed when like around that 100,000 mark. I was pretty embarrassed. But now I'm just like I really don't care what people think of me. That takes a lot of like maturity to do. It's like I was still pretty young when I started off. Of course I was going to be embarrassed because I was young, but like when yeah,
okay,
it was pretty embarrassed.
Alright, so making videos is a thing that you've been doing for a while. Yeah, you're like 6 years probably, somewhere there. But let's say
5 years going on 6.
Yeah, alright, that makes sense. Yeah, but like, let's say your plush videos just didn't ever really end up going anywhere and you wouldn't have like succeeded. What do you think you would have done and would be doing nowadays?
That's a good question. I've definitely asked myself that a lot, but honestly, I don't think anything would really change if I didn't do YouTube. Because outside of YouTube, I have other hobbies that, I really enjoy. And YouTube is just another hobby that I have, another side piece. So I really don't think anything would change, but I would always wonder what would.
Yeah.
But currently, I don't think nothing would really change.
Yeah, alright. well, no gold play button or silver play button, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'd say that answer makes sense. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and definitely saved a lot of money. That would have changed.
yeah, like how much money have you spent throughout the years, if you don't mind me asking, on like FNAF merch?
In FNAF merch?
Or like plushies and stuff like that for video
it's
equipment.
got to be a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't give you a specific number, but I would say it's a lot.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have like a specific number memorized either for like my plush videos, but all right. Well, you obviously got a large fan base, which is why I gotta ask, have you ever had any like memorable fan interactions, whether online or IRL, that kind of stuck with you for whatever reason, whether they were bizarre or funny or strange? And could you tell us about it if you've had that experience?
I have had a couple of fans come up to me and ask if I was Gabe's World, but that's only because I was filming a video either out in public or I was doing like an impression out in public, which I don't normally do. One thing I'll never forget was this past March, I went to New York City and I just posted like a little thing saying, meet me at this address at this time, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I expected no one to be there, but there were quite a few people there, and it really just made my year, honestly. They asked me to sign some pictures, sign some plushies, asked me questions. I actually got kicked out of the store because it was insane. Very blessed to have that opportunity, but I was also filming one of my security breach videos where I actually had to go into an actual kid's place. And the parents thought I was crazy, considering I'm carrying a camera around with a plush doll with a bunch of kids. So parents thought I was weird, but every kid in there knew who I was, and they were coming up to me. I couldn't even film my video. They were just following me around everywhere I went. It was really cool, and I did get that video posted, so that was a success, and I met a couple of fans.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. You know, yeah. How many people would you say showed up in like the New York thing, like approximately?
A pretty good amount. I would say I wasn't keeping track. It looked like a good like 15 people.
Oh. Well,
at first there was just one kid looking around, and then he comes up to me, and then another person, and then next thing I know, I'm like surrounded by all these families. Like, whoa, what's going on?
Yo, that's
yeah. It was a slow process, but it happened.
It sounds pretty nice. How long were you there?
I would say about like an hour and 30 minutes, somewhere around that.
Hey, in that time period, that's a pretty good amount of people, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and of course, I always want to make time for my fans.
That's very respectable. I respect that. But,
of course.
Yeah, well, obviously right now in 2023, there's a handful of plush channels that have like over 1 million subscribers, you know. But at the beginning of 2022, it was only like SML, and it had been that way for like over 5 years, until you came in and became the second plush tuber to ever reach 1 million in March of 2022. How did reaching this milestone feel, and what are your future milestones right now?
That's a really good question. Well, I will tell you this: when I hit 1 million subscribers, I went insane because I made history. I was one of the first. I was the first, I believe, FNAF plush tuber. I wasn't the first plush tuber, the first FNAF plush tuber. So making history was definitely. It was amazing. It was a true blessing, and you know, I celebrated for it. I had a party. I had a surprise party actually. So. That was pretty cool. I would say my My next milestone, obviously 2 million. I gotta get another million in there. But
Yeah.
currently, my goal is just to start uploading as much as I did like a year ago, because I've been pretty busy this year, especially since August. August from here to here has been a really busy schedule for me. So right now, my goal is just to keep uploading, probably weekly, and yeah, just really get back into the groove.
I see.
And also, maybe change some things up a bit.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Would you mind sharing on maybe some details of what you would like to change up, or would you like to keep that private?
Changing up wise, I'm not gonna completely abandon YouTube. When I mean changing up, I mean just like, really going into the film industry, and hopefully I can bring the YouTube thing with me. Because that's why I really started YouTube, was to get some experience in filming and also some editing as well, because that's what I really want to do.
Fair. Yeah, film industry, like what? You want to be like in a movie or something?
Film industry as in just like making movies, acting in movies, writing scripts, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I think a lot of people would like to be in like a movie or writing it or something. You know, it's definitely something I think you could probably do in the future. I mean, you're not bad at script writing, definitely. You know, your videos are pretty good. So yeah, I'd say.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, although I don't know how easy it is or how hard it is, but I mean, I definitely in my position I probably couldn't, but yeah, yours, you're definitely, you probably could. All right, well, you've been earning an alright amount of money from YouTube, you know, for several years, you know, ever since you were fairly young. So I gotta ask, how were your earnings handled since I assume you weren't the one to handle them, and how did it feel earning that money in general at that age?
Well, I would like to keep that kind of stuff private, but honestly, there's really nothing exciting about it. I was young, and yeah, I was pretty young. I didn't really care, pretty much.
All right.
I mean, like, it was cool. Honestly, I only cared about the amount of clicks I got and the amount of subscribers I got. And obviously, it was fun to earn money from it, but really, I couldn't really care less about that. I mean, now I'm like, oh, sick, let's go. Because now this is like my full-time job. But yeah, I would say I didn't really care that much back then.
All right. That's a fair answer. Yeah, I mean, obviously at that age I wasn't really earning a lot of money, so I can't tell you how you know, I can't tell by experience or anything. But yeah, it's all right. That's an interesting answer. But yeah, you can keep certain things, you know, private about how it was like handled and stuff. Cause yeah, like I can imagine how that's something you wouldn't want to fully expand on. But yeah, all right. Well, speaking of your content creation and stuff, you know, you've been doing it for like a while. How would you say you mostly have been avoiding getting like burnt out? And what are your main methods of coming up with video ideas generally?
The video ideas, they kind of just naturally come to me because I've been blessed with a very creative mind. But, you know, when I was running low on some video ideas, you know, I would just sit down and I would just watch cartoons. I would constantly just watch different cartoons. I wouldn't necessarily say copy, but I would take inspiration. There's a difference between copying and inspiration. Copying is just taking one's idea and just changing it up just a tiny bit and calling it your own. Inspiration is looking at someone's idea, getting a new idea, and calling it your own, which you rightfully can call it your own. So look for inspiration. Do not try to look for motivation, because I guarantee you it will not come. Motivation comes from discipline as well. So get off your couch, get off your bed, and go do what makes you happy. But yeah, what was the question again? That just took a turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just take a look at little things in life. Like, take a look at a watch or something like that. Make a video about a watch. Make it have, like, superpowers. Just, like, little things like that. Go above and beyond. Like, let your imagination really just go wild.
Yeah.
I guess that's really how I got my video ideas, pretty much.
Yeah, so you sometimes just go and look around the house and just find an object and then come up with a video idea about it. I mean,
pretty much. Just go wild with it.
Yeah, I think a few other plush tubers have said that they do that, so yeah, I think that's probably a good method. Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, if it works for you, then I mean, it probably should for some people at least. But
yeah.
Alright, well, now some of your currently most popular videos, like if you check on your channel and sort them by most popular, or like from 4 to 6 years ago, speaking in retrospect, what are your opinions on those videos, and do you wish you would have done anything different in them?
I'm so glad you asked that, because I wanted to get this off my chest for a while. There's so many better videos I've made that deserve that attention. I mean, obviously, from 4 to 6 years ago, I'm so happy those videos are doing great. But I've learned a lot from 4 to 6 years. So, obviously, my content has grown, and so have I. There's a lot more videos, I would say, like, deserve the attention. But also, it can be a lesson saying, like, hey, YouTube is not a stable job. Like, everything is going to be changing. Especially just growing up on YouTube. You're going to be changing. YouTube's going to change with it. I'm very, very happy those videos are doing well. But also, like, I can learn from those old videos, and I can make my new videos better.
Alright, well, I guess we can get to the final question right now, which is, I ask everyone, what would you say to any aspiring content creators that would like to be as popular as you?
Definitely don't find what you love to do, and don't hold yourself back from anything, pretty much. I think I really needed to hear that definitely when I started out. Like, I was just so concerned about what are people going to think about this? Am I going to get anywhere? I'll tell you what, don't let those thoughts get in your way, because honestly, if you just follow your heart and your work, it will come. It will come.
Alright. Yeah, I'd say that's some pretty good advice there. Do you script your videos generally?
Not really. Maybe if it's like a big video and I just need some like notes to write down, but like I don't really script my videos.
Alright. Yeah. How long do your videos generally take to record?
If it's just like a big action-packed superhero kind of a video, it takes at 3 days probably of just constant working. But let's say I'm just sitting down on the couch, actually just have like a good story, good plot. It's probably gonna take me 5 hours to film, 2 hours to edit. So a video would usually take me around, what, 7 hours to make? And then you gotta render, you gotta export, you gotta add all the fan art.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I'd say, yeah, your advice was just generally, just don't stress over, I guess, video creation. Just, I don't know. But, yeah, I guess this was the final question. So, yeah, this was nice having you on. Do you have anything to say before we end the interview?
God bless. That's all I gotta say. But thanks for having me on here. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, that was Gabe's World, everyone.